Train the muscles, not the joints. Welcome back to Natural Gallant Bodybuilding. And today I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how weight and intensity may influence your technique. And this is one of the reasons why it's good to mix up the rep ranges, because this is another way of creating more variety in your training program and also causing different types of adaptation. Last night I was just doing some really light reps. I was just doing 70-pound dumbbells on a flat bench just for fun, because sometimes I find it's nice to just do the squeeze and get, sets of 40, 50 reps and really get that deep-seated burn. So I've talked to you a lot about getting the endurance fibers rather than the power fibers in your workouts. And when you get all the fibers, all the muscle fibers involved, what happens is you end up making more muscle gains. You end up creating more muscle mass as a whole. Not only that, when you start repping out, you start pumping blood in the area, so then you start to recover from the days that you did go heavy and the joints take more of a pounding, and you want to pump that blood in there so that the joints actually get a little bit more recovery. So on that note, I've talked about that a million times, but something else has just occurred to me today, which may be happening instinctually in my training. And that is, when I'm training with a higher rep range as opposed to a lower rep range, I notice that different muscle groups will fatigue at different times. Okay, let me explain it this way. Say when I'm doing a heavy set of bench presses, I notice that perhaps my chest gives out before my delts. But when I'm doing a lot of reps, perhaps my delts give out before my chest. And I may adjust my technique accordingly to compensate for this. So this is one of the reasons why sometimes technique will change, because if your goal is to hit the chest when you're bench pressing, you may be forced to adjust your technique depending on the rep range to make sure that your chest is hitting failure long before any other body part. So I notice that when I'm doing super heavyweight as well, when I'm coming up part way, if I come up all the way, I notice that my delts are hitting failure at a much faster rate than my chest is. So that's why you see me doing this constant tension type of rep to make sure my chest is hitting failure. But when I'm doing lighter weight, I find that when I come up and I contract more, what happens is that I get a deep-seated burn and a better pump in the chest. You see, so this kind of seems to contradict itself. So that's why sometimes when you're doing heavier weight, you may have to adjust the technique to make sure that you're actually hitting the body part that you want. And depending on whether you're doing endurance type sets or power type sets, this will actually influence the type of technique you need to use. That's why there's no one technique. That's why I love this channel so much. And that's why you guys are all Gallantians, because we think outside the box. This is shit that's just not talked about anywhere. I'm not even joking. This is not like some sort of branding thing I'm doing when I'm saying it's not talked about anywhere. It's not talked about. I don't see anybody talking about this type of stuff. Now, some of the YouTube channels out there, they're starting to get online with what I'm saying. They're saying, oh yeah, you got to train for you and train, This has just started, because when I started 5 or 6 years ago, nobody was saying this. Everybody was saying, no, it has to be done this way, this way. So I'm creating my own revolution. Unfortunately, nobody's going to know that I created it. But the fact is that when you're doing lighter weight or heavier weight, don't be afraid to adjust your technique based on what you are experiencing in the body. Pump and rest. Okay, just so you guys know, I did chest yesterday too, so I did lots of reps on flat yesterday, so I just did legs. So yeah, that shaves off about 25% of the reps on chest now, but feels good, feels good. So if your chest is giving out in a different way when you're doing a different technique on bench, well, maybe you need to adjust the technique because you're doing a lighter set or a heavier set, or, vice versa, whatever, right? Now it's the same thing with squat. Not only when you're squatting, because of the counterbalancing, right? When you bend over, depending on how much force is up here, the weight that you're using will depend on how much force is causing you to bend over, which will influence how far back the butt has to go or how far forward the knees have to go, all this kind of stuff. You will notice that your technique will change depending on the weight that you're using because of the counterbalancing. And I have talked about this before. love that shit. But that said, again, you may have to adjust the technique depending on what you're noticing is hitting failure. If you notice your lower back is hitting failure long before your legs do, then you may have to adjust the technique a bit. Now, if your joints are hurting, that's the other consideration. If your joints hurt when the technique is done a certain way, then you also have to adjust. So for instance, here's a good example. If you bring your knees farther over your toes or your knees forward and you try to stay really straight up and down, say you're squatting 225 or a lighter weight, and then you notice that bringing your knees forward is causing your quads to burn out and you get this awesome quad pump. But when you try to do that same form with 4 plates, your knees feel like they're going to hit the ceiling. That means you have to adjust your technique. See, the weight is dictating what type of technique you need to use. The intensity dictates the technique. That's my point. There you go. I think that's a good title. I might use that if I can remember it. I probably can't remember it. I probably won't remember it. But yeah, weight dictates technique. Sometimes the technique will change depending on what type of intensity you're doing. And yeah, if you guys have noticed, nobody has shoveled my driveway yet. Have you guys got a Gallant of the Galaxy shirt yet? I just ordered my shirts last night. I'm really excited about them showing up. I'm really excited about Sam Willer's art. That art is awesome. Sam, shout out to you again. Awesome, so impressed with that. I am looking forward to this shirt. I am looking forward to these shirts more than any other shirt I've ever had in my life. Thanks, Sam. Gallant of the Galaxy. Okay, I'm gonna do something right now. All right, I had to get up more up close and personal. Okay, I couldn't stand, camera being on the tripod like that. You guys don't have to be so distant all the time, We're friends now, We're friends. And friends shovel each other's driveways, just so you know. That's what friends do. I'd do it for you. Screw this shit. I probably wouldn't do it. I probably wouldn't do it for you. I'm too busy making these videos, man. So yeah, look at the mountain over here. Can you see this? It is so nice. Look at this. I'm gonna give you a shot. Some of you guys have talked about me including more scenery in my videos and to continue doing that. Well, the fact is this is just outside my house, so yeah, you can pretty much be guaranteed that the scenery will continue. Look at the mountains over here. Watch, I'll show you this. I'll zoom in on these puppies if I don't fall in the snowdrift right now. I just about fell down. Now, that mountain there, it's hard to see because the trees are just, totally in the way there. But if I walk down the street just a minute, not even a minute, like 30 seconds, that thing is just massive. It's like, well, it's a mountain.
Jason being nice to neighbors.
I be nice to people. Yeah, that's right. Gotta be nice, man. When you're a mountain, you have to be nice to people, otherwise they get scared. That's right. So, yeah, don't worry. There'll be lots of scenery coming your way. No problem about that. I am getting a truck to be able to go up in the woods and to be able to explore around. And I will be talking about fitness subjects and workout subjects and bodybuilding, all this kind of stuff. But I will also be talking about many other subjects that have to do with just self-development or working out or having fun with life and creativity. All these things that I like to do on this channel, right? This channel's more of an expression of what I like to do. I like humor. I like, sometimes stupid humor, whatever it might be. I like dance. I like lots of different things. And this channel allows me to do that. Some of you guys do know that I have a meditation channel where I deal with it's more direct enlightenment type work as far as helping people understand who they are and to be able to delve deeper into their own inner experience. But at the same time, yeah, this just allows me to just not take anything seriously. So I enjoy it. So yeah, I will be taking you along for a lot of trips in the woods. I'm looking up in the mountain there, sorry. It's so rude. I'm looking away when I'm talking to you. What's that about? And the other thing I will be doing is making more music, of course. And somebody asked me about doing a podcast. Now, the thing is about doing a podcast is that a lot of people don't realize that doing a podcast is a lot of work. I mean, it's not that I can't do it, but the thing is I'm trying to do regular uploads of videos, and because I'm so busy making that content, making the music for that content, and then of course training and everything, it's tough for me to do a podcast as well, although I can do it. But the other thing is there is an added expense with podcasting because once you start getting a number of downloads and stuff, you have to start paying the server in order to host your MP3, so people download this on iTunes and everything like that, but you need to actually have it sitting somewhere. And when you have those MP3s sitting somewhere, at some point it does cost you money. So not only do you not make money from the podcast and you spend a lot of time doing it, but you also are paying for when people are downloading it. So in the end, you have to kind of find a way to make that sustainable as well. So I don't mind giving away free information, as you guys know, but at the same time, I have to still eat. And yeah, so This channel is primarily about creativity and helping you guys out, but at the same time, yeah, I have to also be able to continue to do it. So if I'm not, oh wow, there's an eagle up there. You barely see him, but that was pretty neat. Thanks a lot for watching, and if you need to get home, just go to naturallandbodybuilding.com and take care for now. And thanks again to the Patreon guys. Yeah, thanks guys. Bye-bye. Well, here Carol Burnett of Bodybuilding goes again. Roll end credits. Roll end credits. Oh, this is ice now. This is bad. See, this is what happens when you guys leave this stuff like this. Turns into ice. See? Procrastinators.